Okay, so since I started Vloggerheads, since I started it, yes, I made the internet. Anyway, since I joined long ago, um, I started out making some videos, and then, because I'd previously been on YouTube, and then I stopped for various reasons, and cameras breaking and different things. Right now I'm using a Fujifilm again that my dad bought me this recent birthday. It's just a point and shoot, fine pics, 8.2 megapixel, but I use it at 4 megapixels because the images are just too large. As I learned one time when someone was like, dude, this is taking forever to receive these photos, and I'm like, okay. And then I decided to go lower megapixel. Considering when I started with my digital photography, I was using 2 megapixel. And when my cameras were broken, I was using a cell phone to take pictures, and they were 2 megapixel at most. This is no big deal. This is actually still pretty good. And I do have images up. They're on my feed on my Vloggerheads. You can see some of them, but I would advise, if you're actually really curious about the variety of what I take, to go to my Flickr photo page, which is probably linked through my website. Or you can click on one of those photos in the feed. I'm almost at 8,000 photos up there. Not 8,000 fantabulous ones, but 8,000 photos is a pretty good amount, considering, let's say I'm doing a whole bunch of photos, because I take a lot at once. I always did this. Even when I had film, I would take multiple photographs. It's a lot cheaper doing it now when you don't have to pay for photo publishing, but I just take a lot of photos of the same thing, and then I could take, maybe, let's say I take 300 photos, I might keep 60 of them, so it's like a small percentage of what I end up with. Yeah, and I'm sure some of the ladies can relate. If they're doing a self-portrait sort of thing, they'll take like 30 of them and then pick one that they really like. That's what it kind of is like for me, anyway. Except for when I'm doing my spontaneous self-portraits where I'm with friends or something. I'm getting better at just accepting it, but it's still hard sometimes, and I still take tons trying to get a good view. I've rambled about what I didn't want to do. This is what I'm up to right now. I'm still struggling with anxiety. And in fact, I have applied for the things that I'm supposed to apply for to try and help me income-wise, because I'm having difficulty getting work. But I did luck out, I swear, into a program called Redirection Through Education. And it's for people who have struggled with mental illness and or substance abuse. I haven't abused substances, except if you count years ago when I was severely depressed, when I was ODing on my prescriptions, during the bad years of being trapped in Glencoe with my job, and the illness of being injured by the factory and stuff. But anyway, this program is at George Brown College, and I'm a college student now. So it's a very understanding program so far. I'm really going to have to push harder next term, because I do want to earn the credit in the credit courses. There are courses that are credit, very few, but most of them are learning things and socializing and learning techniques of behavior, that things that are really good, that people who have sheltered themselves or been ill or out of the mainstream, out of daily routines with other people, that they should learn. Unfortunately, I've had a few setbacks. I get sick very easily. You could combine it with Amber doesn't take care of herself, with also stress. I've been I would like them to check my cortisol level. I have never asked, but I would like to see I wish they'd done it all along, because I bet you my cortisol levels have been high for years now. Through this 10-year WSIB case. 10 plus years. Which, by the way, my fight for claim is near the end. I'm still waiting for a hearing, but I've been saying that for over a year, right? But really seriously, apparently we're very close to the end of it. I am not so optimistic about winning, not so self-assured that my claim will win, that justice will prevail, that everything I've suffered through or that my loved ones have suffered through during the years of my physical and mental effects of what happened to me will be, that I will receive retribution. I'm learning that the loopholes that the system has can be far more powerful, especially against what I've learned. It's generally the people that are the least able to fight back in a way that, well, you know what? I'm not going to be completely negative. It's not over yet. At this point, I'd be glad if it was yes or no. Of course, I'd be happier if I won. I mean, it would be up my pay back up again by a considerable amount. It would be a chance at education again, possibly. It would be, I could afford a psychologist, instead, one that could work with me on my particular patterns. And it would make living in Toronto, certainly, it would up the enjoyment factor in that not everything needs money. Certainly Toronto is one of those cities where you can do so much for free. But I would like to experience a bit more culture in it that I haven't been able to afford. So, and I think I would like my mattress off the floor. And I'd like some comfy chairs. And I'd like this, and I'd like that, and I'd like this, and like... It's not that I want it for material reasons alone. I mean, there's opportunities available when you have the money that, I don't know. I've hoped and dreamed and wished, and I've had people supportive along the way, but that's not enough. When it comes down to it, it's going to all come down to a system that ultimately isn't for the injured party. It's for covering the interests of those who have the money, corporate interest, and not setting precedents. And I think we've still got a long way to go when it comes to recognizing the impact of physical injury caused in the workplace on mental health, on how it can affect your mental health, and how just removing someone from that situation does not make them all better. There's, it can affect them, and it can change them. But anyway, I've ranted so long that I'm worried that nobody will pay attention to any of this video, because there's more I want to mention since I'm suddenly making a vlog.